great transition, Matt, because I do want to talk about women's wrestling, and there was the WWE on Fox account, which had brought us to the men's Mount Rushmore discussion weeks ago, posted the same question for women's wrestling. And I know when we did the men's discussion, we were kind of like spitballing a little bit what would be our top four, but we never really laid it out. So we'll go around. We'll work in reverse order. I'll go to Nick first. Your female wrestling. I'm not going to just stick to WWE. I'm going to go female women's wrestling. Your women's Mount Rushmore. Nick, go ahead.
Fabulous Moolah, obviously. I mean, she may have gotten a bad rap lately, but, she was the paragon of women's wrestling for an extremely long time. Trish Stratus, Lita. Fourth one's tough. Fourth one is tough. But I'm going to say Wendy Richter.
Very good. I was curious because you are older than all of us here and the rest of the group. I was curious to see how and I'm as the rest of them shape out. I'm curious to see if any of the older talent end up there. Matt,
Nick, who was your first one?
Fabulous Moolah.
Moolah, okay.
Now, a lot of people would probably, I am older than you guys, no, bar none. But, a lot of people are probably shocked why I didn't say Mae Young. It was, it was close. I remember when Jim posed this question, on your guys' Facebook page, I sat there and I debated with myself, in which the voices in my head were talking a lot, between Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, Wendy, people, women's wrestlers I grew up with. I mean, I came close to putting down Sherry Martel's name. I came close to putting down Medusa Michelli / Lundra Blaze's name. If you want to go Joshi Japanese, I could have put down Bull Nakano's name. If I were, with regards to that. There are so many wrestlers that you can pick from. It's completely arbitrary. And on that note, my arbitrary time on the show must come to an end, guys. I'm sorry. I really have to depart. My kids have to go to sleep.
Oh, no problem, man.
But I want to thank you guys for allowing me to invade 3 Count Thursday for a night. Hopefully I've earned the respect of you 4 gents to be allowed back in for more guest appearances and stuff like that. And plus the fact me and Jim still have to have another one-on-one down the road.
Oh, no doubt.
But thank you guys. And to all the fans out there, please, if you don't follow them, 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, whatever. These guys are the best. We'll never say a bad thing about them.
Kobe.
Jim once in a blue moon. But, that's how it always is. All right.
All good, man. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, brother.
Matt, who would be your Mount Rushmore female wrestling?
So I actually do have Mae Young on mine. I think that's one that's kind of a staple. I have Chyna, I have Trish Stratus, and then my fourth, it was really close. I almost had Steph McMahon. But then when you said doesn't have to be WWE, I had to give that fourth spot to Gail Kim.
Very good.
China.
Ryan, how about you?
Boy, this one was much harder than I thought it would be. So my Mount Rushmore would go Tamina, Eva Marie, Jillian Hall, Sunny, and the Cat.
So all 5.
I would put 5, and they would be made out of mashed potatoes.
Oh my god!
They're just Nikki Bella almost made that list if I could fit a sick face up there, but no, it's gonna go Trish and Lita. I think those two set the groundwork for what we look at today with inside the WWE. And unfortunately, all of mine are WWE related, which shame on me for not thinking outside of the box.
That's totally okay, Ryan.
I know. It's all on me. I also had China, who did just a ton for women's wrestling, and then I have the flag bearer of today, the one that will carry the division long into the future, Charlotte Flair.
All right, Tim, how about you?
So my list starts with Charlotte Flair. I think when it all is said and done, she's going to be the best women's wrestler of all time. And then she can be in the conversation for just greatest wrestler after that. We're talking specifically women's wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Not anything else.
Sure.
Okay. So then my top 4 after Charlotte Flair, we'll go with Bull Nakano. We will go with Alundra Blaze / Medusa. And I will go with I will go Molly Holly.
Oh, solid.
Molly Holly.
Solid. Mine, of course, is Nikki Bella, Natalia, Nikki Bella, Nikki Bella. If I had a fifth one, I would go back to Natalia for one more. No, mine are Medusa / Alundra Blaze, Trish Stratus, China, and Charlotte Flair. For me, and it's not to discredit Moolah or Mae Young, but for me, it's and I think I even kind of took this approach a bit with the men's Mount Rushmore. Is there's more of an impact on me if I've watched you wrestle and I've been part of your career. It was hard for me to leave off Lita. Like if you could kind of do like a split face for Trish and Lita, because I feel like they go hand in hand with each other. Like it was those two and everybody else. So it was hard to leave Lita off this list. But Trish for me has always kind of stood ahead when I think of that era of women's wrestling in the WWE. Let's see. Yeah, Charlie had said my Mount Rushmore was Natalia 4 times. Jason says Sable, Nikki Bella, Mandy Rose, Alexa Bliss. I don't know if that's serious or not. Charlie has Mae Young, Wendy, Trish, and you can start carving Charlotte into the mountain. Nikki has Medusa, Wendy, Bull Nakano, and Sensational Sherry. So a couple of interesting responses. Yeah, like for me, I always look at Sherry as a manager. Like only a manager, and so if I'm just looking at women's wrestling, I don't think of Sensational Sherry. Ryan.
Now, Tim, you had said you had asked a question which would have eliminated, I assume, one of the people that you were going to put up there. What was your original thought process, and who was that person?
To me, Sunny should be involved in the conversation at some point.
Okay.
Just for being kind of revolutionizing, or not revolutionizing, but like being the first influential woman of wrestling in the new foundation.
Create an OnlyFans?
Well, that too.
Okay.
But to be honest, I mean, during the advent of the internet, she is the first woman.
Yeah.
I mean, without her, I dare say Playboy's interested in anyone down the road.
Does Sable become what Sable was without Sunny?
Right.
My argument would probably be no. I see. Jokes aside, I see where you're going with Sunny in that discussion.
Is there a woman in your mind that just always gets left out of the equation? Maybe not Mount Rushmore worthy, but was very impactful in the formative years or anything that just doesn't get brought up in this conversation. I have one in mind.
Miss Jackie.
Oh, that's a great one. Ryan, who was yours?
First black female, real big superstar. Like
Jacqueline. Okay.
Jacqueline. Not Jackie Gata. I want to be.
I thought you meant. I was like, where are you going with this?
Like from Tough Enough 1, Jackie Gata? Is that
yeah,
Tough Enough 2,
Tough Enough 2, sorry, my bad. My bad. Ryan, who was yours?
Luna Vachon.
Nikki had that in the comments. Luna Vachon. That's a great one. That's a great one. I probably would have put Molly Holly in that group if Tim hadn't put her on his. Because she was. I mean, we saw it. When she has made her appearances, even lately, albeit brief, like she's still good. Matt,
I just don't doubt. Did anyone say like Beth Phoenix?
No.
Good call.
I think that Beth Phoenix's body of work is too small.
Yeah.
On a main scale.
And does it hurt Beth Phoenix that she was kind of in the Divas era?
I don't think so, because she was a part of the Divas era. Because they're gonna get a lot of crap, but like the Divas era then isn't the same Divas era as like the early 2000s. Melina could work.
That's fair.
Melina could work. Beth worked.
But I mean, when
Candice Michelle came into her own.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not discrediting Beth Phoenix. I'm just saying, like,
right.
People. I think the whole Divas area is the whole Divas era. I think it's spoiled by what it ended up being at the end.
Yeah.
And as we've discussed at times, like, and I know Tim, you've taken a much, harder stance than a lot of people with AJ Lee. Is because a lot of people are like, man, if AJ Lee could be in the women's division now, it'd be incredible. And you've often argued that would she be? She looked great because of the division that she was in versus how was she that great? Jason says Mickie James is one that could be included in the
really
group.
Good one.
Charlie says Michelle McCool gets overlooked. Melina, he says as well. So there's some definite strong names that if you were to build like a quote unquote lower level of Mount Rushmore that the names are there. But it's no different. Like when we were talking about the men's ones, like there's some names that are they're just at the top. It's not discrediting those that don't make it. It's just there's certain ones that are just above and beyond. Any other thoughts to this topic? I have one more thing. I know we're at 10:00, but I have one more thing.
Victoria was the other name that I thought of real quick.
Who was?
Victoria.
Who?
Oh,
Victoria. Yep.
And even like beyond that, like ring announcers, commentary, stuff like that. That backstage interviewers. There's plenty of people that you could throw out there. The work that Renee Young has done, kind of like being as fluid as she is with, from backstage to commentary to kind of all over the place. I don't think it's deserving necessarily of a Mount Rushmore, but she is certainly someone that probably her work gets overlooked.
Yeah, 100%.